Hello babes, welcome back to my channel. Welcome back for another video. It is a good day to have a good day. So today is our first Project Dream Body check-in. I'm so excited. I woke up this morning, the first thing I did was do all my measurements because I really wanted to check and see, and I haven't done that in a few weeks. So I'm so excited to share with you everything that has happened over the last few months, what I feel like I'm learning, and the goals that I'm setting for the next month. I'm so grateful you guys are here on this journey. Let's get into today's video. So if you guys follow me on Instagram, we're just gonna start this with the fact that the last month has been bananas. I set the bar really high when we went into this initially, and I like to do that. I like to put myself at that high bar. I don't want to like have to it. I want to have a reason to push myself. I want to have a reason to show up. I want to have something that is really intense and intentional. And I know, especially listening to Ed Milet's podcast, I'll link them down below, one of the things he talks about is you have to change your identity. You have to change your temperature. And one of the best ways to do that is to change things in a short span of time. Now, keeping in mind, I've been on a healthier journey for the last several years, and I've gotten a little more intentional, since about February. I've been looking back in the last like 48 hours at what's really helped me to get here, what I feel like has worked, and I've made a lot of tweaks along the way and have kind of learned. I'm gonna do a video on that soon. But so far for the last month, I really had to rely very heavily on my habits. My stepdad passed away, I think it's been like 2 weeks now. So in the middle of everything that was going on, I was a bridesmaid in a wedding. I wasn't home for 2 weeks because all of my bags were constantly packed because we had no idea what was going on. So I was between here and Birmingham, pretty much preparing at any given time to not be able to get home. So when we started the month, I set the ambition of being able to do 2-a-days, and that was with the assumption of being in Panama City, meaning I had a gym, I had a program, and I had a Peloton bike at home, and I went from that to none of those things very, very quickly. Luckily, I love to use my Apple Watch, and I've been able to see that I was consistent in my workouts. That's something that I always try to take for myself, and I feel like I might be a little more slack with it. If I'm by myself, I might not need it as much, but I know when I'm around people that I do it for my mental health, and I've had to remind myself that over and over and over again throughout this process, that it's not me working out to lose weight. Yes, I am increasing my workouts because that helps me in the process of doing everything, but that's not the reason that I started working out, and I don't ever want that to be the reason that I work out, because then at the end of this journey, I'm not gonna wanna work out anymore. And I like taking that space for me. I like showing up to a workout and going in with mental intention, and that might mean some days that I just need to walk and give myself that space, or some days I might need to burn off some frustration and I need to go running. So I didn't have the workouts planned out like I thought I was going to, and that's perfectly fine. We take one for the team and we adapt as we go. So this is all to say that I'm giving myself grace. I think that if you're on a journey where you're trying to change something in your life, the best thing that you can do is to be kind to yourself in the process, to take the time to acknowledge the wins that you had over the month, as well as to acknowledge the things that you could do better. So my update for the month, I am down 6 3/4 inches and I am down 4 pounds. I did end up getting on the scale because I just wanted a better full-rounded scope of what was going on. I feel like as I've gone through this over the last few months and have taken pictures and have done things, and I will put my progress photos up here, it's easy to see certain things, but it can be hard to see the overall scope when with measurements you're measuring the same portion every month. But like, one of the things that I noticed as I was looking through these photos this morning is that I measured the top portion of my thigh. Well, I've lost more of the inner portion. That's not something you're seeing. So throughout all of the things, it gives me a better idea of what's going on, and I try not to focus on anything specific. I think I've gotten pretty good at that, and it's taken me a while to be able to just have a number as a representation of part of the progress and not have everything full weight and being like, this is my power in this number. So taking the time, easing myself into this, getting to those numbers in that place where I could say, okay, this is changing versus that's changing. These are the small wins, like increasing my cardio, being more active on the Peloton, taking more classes while I was gone and learning where my scale was and how I have increased versus where I could still go. Measuring the small wins on the journey is just as important to me, because for me this is, yes, about getting to a certain place physically and having that power for myself and honoring the fact that I've worked and I've built something for myself and I've taken that for myself because it's something that I want, but it's not about getting there only to lose it. So using the numbers is a great guide, but it's not the only thing that I have. So I did end up tracking my food for a couple of days because I felt like, my hormones were going crazy. I've been tracking my cycle for forever. If you guys have been with my channel on and off, I have an issue with hormonal acne and just having unbalanced hormones. And so normally I have a 28-day cycle. I was on 27. For all the guys who are here, learned something new today. But because of that, I knew something was off just in how my body's reacted the last few months. And so I decided to track my food to make sure that I was getting the balance that I need. It can be easy to slip into a place where I'm not eating as many carbs because since I'm not lifting, I'm not really craving carbs as much. My body doesn't need that replenishment, but my hormones don't need a no carb space. Like, that's not gonna honor what my body needs. So tracking for a couple of days, weighing myself so I had that idea, was really helpful in making the shifts that I need. And honestly, making those tweaks and looking at my diet from that perspective and saying, oh, maybe I'm not eating the carbs that I need to be eating, has actually helped me to get back to a more balanced place with my hormones. I can already see how it has affected my cycle just by making sure that I'm mindfully having some consumption of carbs with my meals and not just plummeting them down. I don't do very well on a very high carb diet. It's just too much for my blood sugar. I have a tendency to spike and I will just get really tired very easily, but no carbs isn't a good option for me either. So I've been working to find the happy medium with that, and tracking food was helpful for that. But I will say that there were a couple of days where I had to really focus on the mental shift, and that was one of my goals this month, is to put myself in a position to where it wasn't so much that my relationship with food was when am I going to eat, that my whole world revolved around that. Is that I gave myself habits that I built over the last few months that I could really lean into and to push on those, and then just focus on doing everything else. I didn't want my world to be so revolved around when I was eating, what I was eating, how I was eating. And I think making those shifts over the last few months and giving myself the opportunity to create a lifestyle like the Fab Four, to eat fat, fiber, protein, greens in every meal, and to really just throw myself into other stuff has helped me. I don't like to nitpick, focus on anything. I find that I don't make progress that way. I prefer to do a tactical plan, give myself space and check in, and I think that that tends to be what keeps me from overthinking and getting so frustrated with stuff, is that I just pick a plan, I stick to it, I live that way, and then I adapt and go from there. And the mental shifts, there were a couple of days where I had to really acknowledge, okay, you're frustrated with other stuff, you're feeling overwhelmed about things, this has nothing to do with your food at all whatsoever. It's more of an emotional state that I needed to sit in and figure out and talk myself through, and to get myself mentally and emotionally healthy, rather than just eating because it was there, eating because it was an option, and being intentional with that. So I really feel like the last month with everything else has been a good practice of my healthy habits, making sure that I'm being really intentional with that, reminding me of what I do need to eat, making sure that I am getting enough sleep. My sleep habits are very weird right now, especially with 2-a-days. I'm trying to figure out when the second workout goes in my schedule, because I find that I'm having trouble falling asleep at night without the aid of melatonin, and that's not something I want to rely on. So my goals for the next month are to focus on my 2-a-days, to really keep that going. I feel like that's been helpful for me. It keeps me more active. My schedule is about the same as normal. I haven't been in the gym as much. I've been working out at home. So just rotating that around, giving myself that flexibility, making sure that I am still lifting weights, because at some point, A, I will want to go back to that to really shape and tone everything I want. B, having heavier muscle just gives you a better metabolism. So I don't want to lose any muscle that I've gained, but also it's nice for my mental health to switch up those workouts. Like I said, I work out for my mental health. So I want to make sure that that's still the objective when I am working out, and not that it's all about Project Dream Body. And then just really focusing on my meals. Today has been one of those days where I just wasn't having it, and I give myself those days. I don't worry about perfection. I try to focus on eating as balanced as I can and eating in a way that honors my body and gives me the energy I want. So focusing on well-rounded meals and just making sure that I'm drinking a lot of water. I definitely feel like I could up that. That's always something that I concentrate the most on. I really try to stick with my 3 meals a day. That tends to do really well for me. And then just making sure that, like, whatever I need to do to stay hydrated, then I am staying hydrated, because we end up eating more and snacking more when we haven't had enough water. So yeah, that is my update for the first month. I feel like, yes, it could have gone better. There are always things that you could do, but I'm also gonna practice grace. I hope that if you're on a journey, like I said, you will practice grace, that you will be kind to yourself, that you will acknowledge all of the things that you have done and then focus on the things that you want to do. And if you need help, maybe you need a coach, you need to find a workout program, you need meals, whatever the thing is for you, that you find a way to ask for help, that you find a YouTube channel where you can learn to cook, that you find somebody who gives you workouts, whatever it is that you need to get to your goals, whatever you need to take your next step. I hope you do that too. And if you want like a post update, I post every day on Instagram stories after my workout, sharing that with you guys and just how I'm feeling, the mental challenges, what's going on, and what I feel like is something that will encourage you every day. So if you want to come hang out with me on Instagram, I would love to have you over there. I love you guys. You matter to me. It is a good day to have a good day. And yeah, I will see you guys next month for another Project Dream Buddy update after Paris. So excited about Paris, and there's lots more videos and content coming to this channel, so make sure you're subscribed. Don't forget to like this video. I will see you all in the next one. Bye guys.